Hey, good afternoon. It's Rebecca coming to you live. Super excited to be coming to you on week 4 of my RC's business series. If you missed weeks 1 through 3, those are available for free when you subscribe to RebeccaContreras.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe page and connect with me via your email, and you'll be able to download and watch those free tools available to you. So my number one goal around this series is simply to share my knowledge and my personal experiences, good, bad, and ugly, that I have learned along the way in my own business journey. So today we are going to focus on week 4, on the power of network and branding to not only start your business, but to scale and to grow your business. So I really want to hone in on the two and share my own personal sort of strategies with you, as well as experiences. So we are going on, actually this month, in the month of May, I completed 13 years in business as an entrepreneur. I started my business Avant-Garde 13 years ago in 2011, and we have grown and scaled to about 130 consultant team members all across the spectrum, including some of the key states of business, such as here in Texas, Maryland, Virginia, DC, and Philadelphia, and a few others. And we're super excited. I'm excited to have been a part of this journey, and we're continuing to scale and grow and learn along the way. I have learned in this growth process, there are really 3 essentials that I have leveraged in the scaling and in the growing of my own business. Number 1 at the top of the list is my network, and leveraging your network to scale and grow your business. Number 2, the strategic alliances that I have formed, the right people, the right plan, the right execution, and having those strategic alliances that are so important to growth. And then number 3, another area we'll be talking about is the branding and having that distinction in the market, whatever solution, whatever service you're offering, to be able to differentiate yourself in the market. So today, because we're limited on time, this is only a 20-minute series, we're going to talk about networking and branding. I wanted to share with you 5 fundamental truths that I live by when it comes to this concept of networking and branding and scaling and growing your business. Truth number 1, none of us succeeds alone. We absolutely cannot do it alone. We're not lone rangers, and if you are, it'll be very difficult to start and even grow your business. We all need a healthy, vibrant network and a community of people around us that will help us be successful. Number 2, the more diverse your network, and the more diverse your connections, the more outcome-based benefit you will yield. When I say diversity, I'm talking about diversity of industries, diversity of people, diversity of cultures, diversity of brands, diversity of offerings, and just being able to diversify your network is important. Number 3, in my truth to live by, is when you influence others and you learn a life of influence, naturally the outcome of that will be the growth of your business. How do you influence? You influence through your expertise, you influence through listening, you influence through being present and available. Kiyosaki, one of my favorite authors of Rich Dad Poor Dad, said, the richest people in the world look for and build networks. Everyone else just looks for work. Let that marinate for a minute. That is a very powerful truth. So your network, truth number 4, is your network needs to be a reciprocal one. So give and take, reciprocal network. Listen, if you have a network of people that you're working with that are only takers and they're taking constantly, or you're taking constantly, and there is no collaboration and reciprocal relationship, you need to shake up your network and change it. It needs to be reciprocal. And the 5 truth I live by in this concept is stay the course, be deliberate, be perseverance and persevere in building, expanding, and connecting to build your network. In business, it pays off. And one of my favorite CEOs, no longer with us, but just brilliant man, is Steve Jobs. And he said it best. I'm convinced that about half of what separates Successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful entrepreneurs is pure perseverance. Persevere in the market, persevere in building your network, persevere in ensuring that you're disciplined around that brand. So I took some lessons from the Center for Creative Leadership. They provide 6 rules of leadership networking lessons focused on leaders that should leverage what I call the people, the process, the strategy, and the network. And you can get this off of the Center for Creative Leadership. Their number 1 is be sincere. Networking is not a ploy for only getting your way. It's not a selfish thing. It has to be, again, a give and take. And if you earn a reputation and you're someone who always takes but doesn't give a lot in your network, you're not going to have that network very long. So be known in the marketplace and in the network as somebody who absolutely shares and is sincere in that network relationship, being back and forth. Number 2, share resources in your network. Having resources, information, services, strategies to build that network, but keep that network by sharing information and giving back to your network so that you're known as someone who is a giver in the network, and more people want to do business with you, more people want to collaborate with you because you're known for that. Number 3 in their top 6 of essential leadership networking strategies is use your power thoughtfully. The power is the ability to get things done. Everybody needs power and influence in this world. And power is not a bad thing if you use it for good. You need 3 resources to build your power. You need a reputation. You need to be known as someone who produces results in the marketplace. Number 2, you need your alliances. And you need the power to influence wisely. Be wise about that influence that you bring. And number 4, communicate skillfully. This is, again, top 6 tips of leveraging and building your leadership network. Communicate skillfully. Communicate in a way that builds awareness, but also ensures that, that you are making others aware of what you offer as a company, what your business line is, what your capability is, and what your service is. And number 5, be a savvy negotiator in your network. Effective negotiators know how to use their network to be savvy in negotiation and let it work to your long-term benefit as a business. And the last 6 tip from the Center for Leadership is learn to manage conflict in your network. There will be conflict. There were people that will disagree with you, people that won't like what you're doing. And it's important to learn how to navigate that so that you don't burn those bridges and lose valuable network connections just because you're not on the same page. And I liken this to the political network. In my world, I came out of the Bush administration. As many of you know, I served for 12 years under President Bush, Governor Bush, and President Bush. I have friends on both sides of the aisle. I have Republican friends. I have Democrat friends. I have networked with Republicans. Actually, under the Obama administration, for the 8 years he was in office in DC, I built my company sizably during that term. So it's important to leverage both sides of networks, people you agree with, people you disagree with, not only in politics, but also in community and in your world. So these are the 6 leadership principles. So I want to move, still on the subject network, I want to move to the 5-step evaluation process I have used to ensure that I have a strong network. Number 1, I measure my current network strength. What does the measurement of that strength look like? Is it producing anything? Is it life-giving? Are you receiving? Are you giving? Is it strong in overall strength? Are there good connections there to help you build and scale your business? Number 2, how well does that network work? What are the goals that you've established? And is that network helping you either grow or expand your goals? Or maintain your goals? Number 3, is there functional communication in the network? Do you have strong functional communication, well-rounded people that are going to be reasonable? Is it functional communication around the means? Or functional communication could be things in like, social media, email, how you communicate in groups. How you scale and start communicating through various networking business groups that you're a part of. Is there strong communication there? And do you have niche groups you're a part of that will help you grow and expand your network? Number 4, who are you talking with? Who are you interacting with about your business? The people that are in your world need to bring something to the table, and you in turn need to bring them something to the table. So there is, again, that reciprocal relationship. So ask yourself, in your network with your business, are you the smartest person in the room? Probably not. And if you are the smartest person in the room and you're the most accomplished, then find a different network. Get around people that you can look up to, people that have achieved more than you've achieved, people that have grown their business bigger than you have. I'm right now about a $25 million business. Will probably close out this year very strong. And I'm surrounding myself with people that have grown $50 million businesses, $100 million businesses. I want to grow my business. Therefore, I'm going to ensure that people I'm around and networking with have scaled and grow their businesses more than I have. I am not the smartest person in the room ever, nor do I want to be. I want to be around smart people. And then the fifth and last is there a measured outcome of your extensive involvement with your network? What has that value to your business been? So if you've been involved networking and you're involved in XYZ groups over a period of years and years and years and nothing is coming of that, then perhaps it's time to evaluate that network and make sure that you are connected to the right network. I am so blessed to have an incredible network around me across the U.S., not just in Texas, not just in D.C., but across the U.S., and I leverage that network to grow and scale my business. But I also leverage that network to learn so that I can do things better, so that I can be stronger, so that I can scale and grow my business in a better way. So now I want to shift and pivot to branding. We've talked about network the last 12 or so minutes. I want to now focus on branding and end strong on branding. In order to succeed in business, you have to have a brand. So what is your brand? What are you known for in the marketplace? What do people know you for? What makes you different from everybody else in the marketplace? Again, whatever market you're in, if you're in a daycare business, if you're in the food business, if you're in consulting, if you're in IT, if you're in marketing, what's going to make you different? And so I want to bring to you my essential 5 core elements that have been a huge part of my growth at Avant-Garde. I want to first tell you, number one at the top is be people-centric. This is your brand. I'm talking about your brand. When you're known as a company, what is your brand? My brand at Avant-Garde is we are people first, client always. We put our people first. And the reason they're first as a CEO is that your people will make or break you. If you have good people, if you can keep good people, you will be a successful business. And I'll be talking about the people aspect of this business later on in the series. So make sure there will be a whole 20 minutes dedicated just the people. Number 2 is be outcome-based as a brand. I'm talking about branding here, how you brand yourself. Are you results driven? Are you known for producing results? Just because you have a fancy name or fancy paraphernalia, on your website, or fancy paraphernalia to hand out, or fancy branding on your website doesn't mean that you establish a brand. Your brand needs to be what you're known for, what people know you for. Are you outcome based? So I have a client, I will tell you, I started with 13 years ago. 13 years ago, we started with one client. Today, we have served hundreds of clients, over the past 13 years. We have clients, if we're engaged by a particular client, they may have 3 or 4 offices that we serve. So we have 3 or 4, offices within that particular client because they referred us. With my clients in our brand, I'm sharing with you what our brand is. Our brand at Avant-Garde is always people first, and people love that. Our clients love that we put our people first. That means we're going to get them good talent. But also it's what I call, we employ a with you, not to you approach. What does that mean? A with you, not to you approach and how we're delivering our consulting services. So we don't come in as the smartest consultants in the room trying to tell them how to do their business. We employ a with you, not to you approach. So we do it with them. Whatever we're doing, if we're providing a human resource service, if we're building a strategy, if we're doing a business process assessment, if we're implementing an IT initiative or an IT program, we are always working with them. And we're known for being a collaborative consulting team. We don't appear to be the smartest knife in the block. We appear to listen and learn and leverage all the great talent and make sure we understand what they want. So that's one thing that sets us apart in the marketplace. The third essential core is we've learned what it means to be a healthy pushback. So, we are not yes people. We're not yes all things to all people as a business. Some businesses get into the trap of being yes people, and whatever the customer wants, the customer's always right. I don't believe that strategy works, not for my industry anyway. I believe that there are times in your life where you have to put a stake in the ground and push back and employ what I call a healthy pushback. So our brand, we're known for having a healthy pushback. And our clients actually love that. They don't always want us to agree with them. Sometimes they want new ideas, new concepts. And so if there's something that's happening internally that we see going array, we bring it to the table, very collaborative, and do what I call a healthy pushback. So that's our brand. The fourth area of our brand that we've been able to establish that I recommend as a core essential in your business is we want to keep your client base and scale it up. So clients, be known as someone who brings clients back, who keeps clients coming back for more. 80% of the avant-garde business today comes from existing client base. It comes from referrals. It comes from doing a good job for Jane Doe, and then they refer us to John Doe. It comes from a client base. And only 20% of our work right now is what I call true blind competitive proposals that we win. We win most of the work by being asked to bid on things or being brought into something that's problematic and being asked to grow. So the brand is about being client-based in that healthy, collaborative way so that clients keep coming back for more. I'll give you an example. We started with an agency, I'll call it for this purpose, Agency X. They're one of the most thriving agencies in government. And we started with them in year one of building the business back in 2013. They were one of our very first clients. Through my network, I was able to get that business, and we were able to get it through the network, but we kept it because of our outcome-based, results-driven approach and brand. So 6 years into the contract, we had performed exceptionally well. At the end of the 6 years, we lost. We had to come up for recompete because most of the proposals that we bid on come up every 5 to 6 years. We actually lost that bid to a low-cost bidder, somebody who came in and way underbid us by almost 20 to 30%. And the people that selected the low-cost bidder, there were other people on the team that, felt like they were getting, they could get more for their buck if they went with the low-cost vendor. And we lost that contract for 5 years. And in 2022, we won that contract back. So 5 years later, after we lost a client, when that contract was coming up again for recompete, they called us and said, "We miss you guys. We want you back. We're not going to do low cost anymore. We're going to do best value. That means we're not going to go with the bottom of the totem pole and in bottom feeding proposals. We want the best of the best. You guys come back. Please, please bid on our contract." Today, we are moving into year 2 of a 6-year project with them, and we're back. I have so many examples I could give you where our brand and our reputation helped us win that particular project. There's another agency to the point of building your brand for growth in business so that you're known for client referrals. If your brand is part of you're keeping your clients and you're growing your clients, then people are going to know you're good. We had one client in year 2 of our business back in 2012 that I secured, and there were 3 people on that project. Today, almost 12 years later, we have over 45 people performing for that particular client, boots on the ground, supporting their organization. And we've grown that client. We're in multiple places now. It's a client on the Hill that we loved in Washington, D.C., and they're amazing, and their mission is incredible. And so we have a thriving, growing team there. So lastly, core essential number 5 is we live our values. Be known as a company who lives your values. The horror story that we all know that went public many years ago, over a decade ago, was the Enron story, right? You walked in the Enron headquarters, and in their lobby, and a big marble floor was a big, a value that Enron stood for: trust and integrity. And we all know what happened with Enron. They didn't live their values. And so don't be a company that says that you value integrity, trust, transparency, people, and then all of a sudden behind the scenes that doesn't happen. You want to live your values as a brand. So that is the brand. I shared with you the 6 top Keys from the Leadership for a Creative Institute. I shared with you my 5 core tenets in terms of the growth of the elements for what I believe is a strong brand. I want to leave you with 2 action steps as we close. Action step number 1, if you're already in business, determine what your brand is. If you don't have a brand, or you think your brand isn't working and you've been in business a long time, then stop and do a pivot, evaluate your brand, engage the right experts to help you. Make sure you engage the right knowledge. Don't just do it on your own in a vacuum, because, you know, I believe, again, your network is power and people add so much value to your network. So determine what your brand is, and it takes time. Have those discussions. What is your brand? Not only your brand theme in terms of your colors and your website and your design, but more importantly, the internal elements of what your brand is and what you're known for, as I shared in the first part of this segment. And number 2, determine your network. If you don't have a network built yet, there is a lot of time to build your network, but don't start your business until you have a network. A lot of people jump out and start businesses with no network and no collaboration, and it's really difficult to get it off the ground because you don't know where to go and who to talk to. And so take a step back and think about, what is your network? Do you have a network? How do you start building your network? And leverage the tools that are available to you. I've shared plenty here. There's a lot of online tools. You can also make sure you're working with your local Chamber of Commerce. There's an incredible network opportunity there. I'm very connected and a supporter of not only the Round Rock Chamber of Commerce, but also the Austin Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and have a great network through those means. So join your local chamber. Hey, listen, bite the bullet and pay the $500 a year it costs to join the chamber. It's important. They provide a lot of tools and a lot of value there. And use the 5 evaluation steps that I gave you in this session. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. Join me next week as we talk about, we'll be on week 5. We will be talking about building your business plan, and I do hope you've enjoyed this series. If you did enjoy it, make sure you subscribe at RebeccaContreras.com. Watch week 1 through 3, and make sure you share this out. So wishing you all the best.